In the heart of the world's largest rainforest, long before the age of modern Brazil, indigenous nations confronted one of the earliest waves of European imperialism. This is a story not just of invasion, but of resistance, of alliances forged across rivers and tribes to defend land, autonomy, and culture against Portuguese encroachment in the 17th century. When Portuguese colonists pressed upriver from the Atlantic coast into the vast Amazon basin in the early 1600s, their intentions were clear: seize territory, extract resources, and capture labor. European powers routinely used indigenous enslavement as a foundation of colonial economies. Portuguese slavers and the missionaries who accompanied them sought to convert and control the peoples they encountered, from the mouth of the Amazon at Belém to the remote reaches of the rivers beyond. The abuses that followed ignited resistance across the forest. Yet indigenous societies did not passively yield. In the lower Amazon and Pará region, caciques like Cabello de Velha united diverse groups in what became known as the Tupinambá Uprising of 1617 to 1621. In response to Portuguese exploitation and forced labor, these indigenous warriors coordinated assaults on colonial outposts, including an audacious attack on Precepio Fort in 1619. This early coalition demonstrated how shared grievances could bridge long-standing linguistic and cultural divides. Across the rivers, another story unfolded, one shaped by diplomacy as much as conflict. In 1659, a remarkable Treaty of Macua was negotiated between Portuguese Jesuits and indigenous leaders of the Marajó archipelago. Though ultimately short-lived, it represented a rare moment of indigenous voices shaping terms of peace, grounding rights to land and missionary presence while resisting outright enslavement. These negotiations revealed indigenous agency within the violent pressures of colonial expansion. The Amazon's dynamic political landscape also intersected with broader imperial rivalries. The Dutch West India Company's incursions into northern Brazil in the early 17th century presented indigenous communities with a choice: ally with one European power to counter another. In some cases, such as with tribes that dealt directly with Dutch traders, indigenous leaders negotiated trade and military cooperation that challenged Portuguese dominance, illustrating strategic adaptability in the midst of colonization. While many of these alliances did not endure in the face of overwhelming military force and disease, they left an enduring imprint on the region. Tribes like the Manao of the upper Rio Negro formed confederations bound by mutual defense, slowing Portuguese penetration into their heartlands. Their tactics blended guerrilla warfare with intertribal support networks, embodying a resilient spirit of resistance against oppression. These 17th-century struggles were more than isolated skirmishes. They were crucibles in which the future cultural fabric of Brazil was shaped. Today, echoes of these alliances resonate in indigenous identity, land rights movements, and the ongoing fight to protect the Amazon. From resistance to survival, these stories reveal a history far richer and far more contested than the textbooks once told.